Hello, everyone. Johan and I are both artists and designers in our own respect, and together we run an independent publishing house called Vandret. And a project, let's say, that springs from our practice as publishers is 1,000 Books, a platform from which we want to, or from which it's our ambition to identify new audiences for this wonderful contemporary art discipline of artist book making. 1,000 Books has been a sort of semi-regular event that's looked like an art book fair. It's looked like a dinner. It's looked like different networking events. It's looked like a publication. The first two iterations in 2013 and 14 was mainly, there were side events, but mainly we hosted a art book fair, an international art book fair inside the market, which from an accessibility standpoint already had, supermarkets, as you know, are quite accessible places for in, I guess, specific sort of physical, practical terms. Also, this supermarket, a Norwegian franchise called the Rema 1000, hence where we took our name from 1,000 Books, is also, let's say, a discount supermarket where many different people meet and well, it's where most people can afford to shop, let's say. That's where we found ourselves in 2013 and 14. Johan, if you want to scroll. 2016, however, we were in a Kunsthalle in Copenhagen, where we asked our publishing peers how, let's say, the conceptual ambition that results in a book, if it doesn't result in a book, if it has to be sort of negotiated into a three-dimensional space, how would that look? So that was 2016, an exhibition about exhibiting books. We thought that looking at books in vitrines was less than optimal, especially with artist books that are so many, where there's such a wide spectrum of expression. Johan, if you want to scroll. So we were planning what was to be 1,000 Books 2020. We wanted to move back into the supermarket, host a book fair that was the sort of starting point of a festival with many more facets and many more programming points than just the book fair. And then for reasons probably obvious and apparent to everyone, 1,000 Books 2021 quickly became 1,000 Books 2020 whenever, let's say, because we didn't know when we were able to congregate again and when we were able to sort of host an event. We were lucky in that we were already planning to move back into the supermarket, a place where we all probably, or the place where we probably, many of us had our only, let's say, contact with other people during the pandemic. So we thought, let's truck on, let's keep planning this event, because we can expect to be able to sort of be in a space that's already, let's say, accessible during COVID times. This summer, then in August and September, we hosted 1,000 Books 2021. We ended up in the parking lot of a supermarket. The grocer gave us a parking lot, gave us pallets, gave us goods to decorate and create a welcoming space where shoppers would come and meet exhibiting artists and see exciting books and talk to publishers. So this was one side of our festival project. We collaborated with a local national park, also outdoors, COVID safe, where we from them got not only locales and let's say big, beautiful, exciting venues, but also, let's say, local expertise and knowledge. We're a nomadic project. We don't have an institution, let's say, like many of our colleagues here at Bang. So that was fun as well. So our art program, let's say, in adjacent to the book fair was, we invited Taba Auerbach, an American artist, to make an artwork for the receipts at the supermarket. So in the weeks leading up to our fair and in the weeks after, you had a semi-unique, let's say, a unique multiple artwork on your receipts from your purchase. Tauber made a text poem based on a mathematical function called a piano poem. Called a piano curve. She called them piano poems. Tauber is also a publishing artist and sits on the board of Printed Matter in New York, so very sort of submerged in artist books and bookmaking as an artistic discipline. Yeah, Johan, if you want to scroll. A Danish artist, Elisabeth Molin, was invited to be the artist in residency in the supermarket during the summer. So she spent 3-4 weeks sort of in and around the supermarket, making little interventions, little installations that she documented with her camera, and that has since become a little publication that we launched during the fair. Yeah, Johan. We also made an open call to the international artist book community at large, inviting them to submit video flip-throughs of books that we would show inside the supermarket during the fair and in the month after. So you could walk around the supermarket and then all of a sudden here was a little tablet hanging with flip-throughs of books. Yeah, Johan. Artist David Horwitz made little quirky suggestions. This one sign, for instance, says "Wait here," and it's just a fun little pause in unassuming national park visitors. Let's say a walk through a park. Next slide. Finnish French artist duo Tourist Tristesse made these ceramic concrete pigeons for us. Our theme for the festival was distribution. This was what we were thinking a lot about as publishers during Corona. How do we get, because book fairs were obviously canceled, so how do we get our books out to people? How do we communicate? How do we meet people? How do we share? So yeah, distribution was what we were thinking about. So these maybe these carrier pigeons or migrating birds were maybe on these artists' minds as they made these sculptures that we then installed in public spaces and parks in the city of Roskilde, suburb of Copenhagen, where we hosted our fair. Next slide, Johan. We also worked with the Danish design studio, Studio Alexis Mark, they are designers and bookmakers themselves, and we invited them to make a exhibition infrastructure for the local library, who we also collaborated with to show the books that they deem to be the best books related to creative learning and artistic learning. So they made a really beautiful exhibition of books where you were encouraged to pick up the books and sit and read. So reading room installation. Next slide, Johan. Another really exciting part of our project was a risograph printing workshop with 6-year-olds from schools in Roskilde, where Ann-Christine Støland from Bergen in Norway and Christian Johansson, respectively Norwegian and Danish book artists, came and facilitated a zine making workshop for kids in a sort of semi indoor outdoor pavilion. I have the time. Next slide, yeah. Please.
Just going to prompt you on the time there.
Another let's say quite COVID safe and accessible programming point was a situationist walk and talk with Danish artist Morten Søndergaard in gardens and parks in Roskilde. Next slide, Johan. As well as a pop-up also around the national park. A local Copenhagen-based artist bookshop came in and made pop-ups using infrastructure and furniture from the supermarket. Next. Collaboration with a contemporary art space in Roskilde that produced 5 artist audiobooks. Was also part of our festival. And yeah, to end it, here a little vibe picture from our festival, where we got to collaborate with let's say local expertise. We got to meet people that maybe normally wouldn't frequent a white cube space, and we benefited from accessibility already at place in local libraries and supermarkets, which are most of the time, and certainly in our case, already let's say specifically accessible, but the accessibility of sort of meeting bookish people, to reference Susanna's point from before. Yeah, I think that's my time.